Vintage.
Vintage.
Vintage. Vintage.
Vintage.
We are 93.7 FM. Vintage 93.7 FM. Vintage 93.7 FM.
Yeah, good morning, sport fans. Welcome to today's edition of Sports Lane on Vintage 93.7 FM. We are broadcasting from Oluyole in the city of Ibadan, where today is Tuesday, the 20th day in the month of February 2023. My name is Toby Akintola. I'm your sports pass. Super excited once again to be here to give the latest in the ever interesting, action-packed, and often controversial world of sport. DJ Cole is my studio manager this morning, and for 15 minutes or so we are going to do it together. Well, let me also tell you that you can watch us live on Facebook at Vintage FM Ibadan. Our Twitter at Vintage FM Ibadan. Well, let's get started with other sports, and we are starting with tennis this morning. When Novak Djokovic has yesterday achieved another historic milestone in his career, overtaking Stephen Graf's record for most weeks at men's or women's tennis players world number one. Well, the Serbian already held the record for the most weeks as number one in the history of the ATP ranking since 1973, when he surpassed Roger Federer's mark of 310 weeks in March 2021. Well, now he has moved past Graf by beginning his 378th week on top of the tennis world ranking. Well, Djokovic currently on 6,080 points on the ATP rankings, returned to the number one last month for the first time since last June by winning the record extending 10th Australian Open crown. Of course, with great strength that you have been giving me over the years, according to Novak Djokovic. I've managed to achieve many fantastic achievements throughout my career, Djokovic said in a video for the fans. Where the most recent is breaking the world record with 376 weeks on world number one in the ranking, surpassing one of the greatest, most legendary tennis players, both men and women, that ever played, Stephen Graf. Well, so I'm flattered, obviously extremely proud and happy for this achievement. But that's according to Novak Djokovic, world number one. Well, if you remember, he won the Australian Open last month. Well, from tennis, let's move to football. And we're starting from home here in Nigeria. Well, Nigerian Premier League side Sunshine Stars, a football club of Akure, are set to boost their squad with more strikers ahead of the second half of the season. Well, a reliable source close to the team disclosed to Daily Post that the former Shooting Stars gaffer has invited 3 new attackers to the team. Well, the source added that Agoye is planning to improve the attack and give more competition to the team. The coach has invited 3 players or attackers to train with the team ahead of the second half of the season, revealed the source. Well, he will make his decision after watching them closely in training. The Akure club is looking to win its first MPFA title this season. From Nigeria, let's cross over to the continent of Africa, where the Beninese Football Federation has confirmed that indeed both countries, Nigeria and Benin Republic, are in advanced stage of working out a joint bid for the 2025 African Cup of Nations. Well, report of Nigerians' intention to co-host the 2025 African Cup of Nations with Benin Republic may not be totally wide off the mark after the small West African country confirmed its involvement in the project. Well, the host for the 35th edition of the Continental Championship is yet to be decided by CAF. Where this became imperative after Guinea was stripped of the hosting rights following a perceived lack of preparedness. Well, a member of the executive committee of Benin's Football Federation, Moron Buraimas, revealed that the proposal will make sure that Benin Republic provide 2 stadiums while Nigeria will present 4 to 6 stadia needed for the successful outing. Well, according to him, Nigeria is a border country with Benin Republic and we have also the same culture. You know that now the African Cup of Nations comprise of 24 participating countries and 6 major stadiums are needed. Nigeria has many, but Benin in these bid apply for 2 large stadiums. So Nigeria and Benin Republic are planning to host the African Cup of Nations in 2025, where it will be a joint bid. Well, if you recollect, Nigeria co-hosted the African Cup of Nations with Ghana in year 2000, where that competition was won by the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Well, remember that game, Cameroon defeated Nigeria here at the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos in year 2000 to win the African Cup of... That was the last time Nigeria hosted the African Cup of Nations. Yeah, from that, I will move to the latest from the African Under-20 Nations Cup going on in Egypt. Well, following the elimination from the ongoing Under-20 African Nations Cup, the Egyptian goalkeeper trainer Eya Bagaral has accused Flying Eagles and the Young Teranga Lions of Senegal of age cheat. Where Egypt, who doubled as the host of the tournament, lost to both Nigeria and Senegal in the group games, which finally ended their hope of going further in the competition. Now, these teams have many players with fake age. The Senegalese goalkeeper seems older, as well as the Nigerian's number 3 player, who seems to be older than Nigerian players. Well, the African Cup of Nations is completely different from the Arab Championship in terms of strength and will register players into the tournament later, especially the national team did not play many matches to prepare before it started. Well, so the Egypt goalkeeper trainer is accusing the Flying Eagles of Nigeria and the Young Teranga Lions of Senegal for feeding overage players. Where this competition is meant for players under the age of 20. But for the Egyptian coach, he is saying that the players are playing for Nigeria in this competition are way more than 20 years of age. Where he specifically mentioned left back Solomon Agbalaka. Where for him, Agbalaka is more than 20, and that is not good commentary for African football. Well, meanwhile, Flying Eagles players have been in hot demand from top clubs around Africa and Europe following their impeccable performances at the ongoing African tournament in Egypt. Where reports suggest that some agents are keeping vigil at the Flying Eagles camp just to seal deals with talents of their choice. Well, a famous Egyptian football intermediate, that is Islam Shiragin, says Solomon Agbalaka is in hot demand. According to him, there are many agents and scouts in Egypt hoping to tie up a good deal with Solomon Agbalaka. We're still giving you an update from the Under-20 Nations Cup going on in Egypt. The quarterfinal of that competition will start on Thursday. Well, let me tell you, on Thursday, Senegal will take on Benin Republic at 3 p.m. Nigerian time, while the Flying Eagles of Nigeria will take on Uganda at 6 p.m. Nigerian time. On Friday, Gambia will take on South Sudan by 3 p.m., while Congo will take on Tunisia at 6 p.m. Nigerian time. We're still on the continent of Africa. The Confederation of African Football CAF has concluded plans to sit on the withdrawal of the Atlas Lions of Morocco from the 2022 Championship of Africa and CHAN competition. But the North African country pulled out of the biennial tournament due to disagreements and political tension between them and the host country Algeria. Well, the soccer ruling body tried to intervene, but Morocco chose to withdraw, insisting that their direct flights must be allowed to land in Algiers, the capital of Algeria. Well, CAF will meet today, Tuesday, to deliberate on the matter and take a final decision in order to forestall future occurrences. Senegal were champions of the 2022 CHAN competition. Well, let's leave the continent of Africa and let's move to the international football scene at this moment. Well, Lionel Messi has beaten Karim Benzema and Kylian Mbappe to lead FIFA's Best Men's Player Award at the ceremony in France after his World Cup heroes with Argentina in 2022. Well, the best women's player was Spain's Alexandra Putella, won the award for a second consecutive year. Well, Argentina coach Lionel Scaloni was voted FIFA's Men's Coach of the Year after leading his team to the World Cup in December. Also, Argentina's World Cup winner, that's Emiliano Martinez, was voted as the best men's goalkeeper. Martinez plays for Premier League club Aston Villa. Well, let's move to Europe at this point and give you the result of matches played yesterday in the Spanish La Liga. Valencia defeated Getafe by 2-1. In the Italian Serie A, Verona lost at home 0-3 to Fiorentina, while Lazio managed a 1-0 victory over Sampdoria. We have some matches coming up today in the English FA Cup, where Stoke City will take on Brighton and Hove Albion at 8:15 p.m. Nigerian time. Leicester City will take on Blackburn Rovers at 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time, where Fulham will take on Leeds United at 8:45 p.m. Nigerian time. Where Bristol City will take on Manchester City. Time for that game is 9 p.m. Nigerian time. When the Italian Serie A, Cremonese will take on Roma by 6:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Juventus will host Torino at 8:45 p.m. Nigerian time. Don't forget that you can also join me in the second part of this program today. By 4:30 p.m. we have more time to talk about sports, and that will be Sports Lane, the evening edition for today. But before we go, we have some other news to give you. Where Brentford boss Thomas Frank says they abuse him at Chelsea football manager is disgraced amid Graham Potter's plight at Chelsea. Where Potter said his mental health had suffered after he and his family received anonymous abuse during his side's poor run of form. Where the Blues are 10th in the Premier League after one win in 11 games, but Frank has backed Potter to succeed. Quoting, "I'm convinced that over time he will find that solution." At Manchester United, they think they can convince West Ham's 24-year-old England midfielder Declan Rice to join them in the summer. Arsenal will be interested in signing Chelsea's 28-year-old for England for Raheem Stanley if he becomes available this summer, although he's not looking to leave Stamford Bridge. And lastly, Chelsea manager Graham Potter fears his training sessions are being ruined because of the huge squad at Stamford Bridge. Well, that's all time permits on to this morning edition of Sports Lane. Join me in the evening for another edition of this program. I've enjoyed working with DJ Cole this morning as my studio manager. Up next is Ogba Sport with Shola Ayigbajije. My name is Toby Akintola, and I'm out of the studio.
From the rising of the sun